Hi everyone, welcome to or back to my channel, MelCabeyVlogs. If you are new here, so nice to meet you. My name is Mel. I am an equity musical theater actor who has lived in New York City for almost 10 years now, and I vlog all about what it is like to be an actor in this industry, all of the ins and outs, day jobs, everything, balancing life. So, if you want to know more about that, subscribe. Pretty please. It would make me so happy. All right, let's get into it. We're gonna do a little gossip sesh because I feel like there are a lot of things I need to just like sit and chat and fill you in on where I touch on in my vlogs, but we just need to just like chat and talk it out. So I'm also gonna answer some questions that you guys have asked in recent videos, but yeah, guys, where do we even start? Let's start with some like heavy hitter theater things. So, as some of you may know, in recent videos, I have been talking a lot about kind of pursuing my journalism career. If you don't know, I'm also a writer. I write for a few publications and I want to get my master's eventually. So we'll talk more about that later, but talking a lot about kind of creating like parallel career paths because theater is becoming more and more difficult to be consistently employed in. And I'm not gonna lie, things are just looking grim in the business. They are. So we're gonna get into some like details of why. All right, let's just start with like today's news. Today they announced Death Becomes Her is closing on Broadway. It has been doing wonderfully from what I know, but clearly they are having issues. They're probably losing money. The tour is going out. Maybe they thought, okay, let's just keep it on the road. It'll make more money there. And just knowing things like that when shows like Death Becomes Her, like original Broadway shows that have an original score and have amazing reviews, won a bunch of Tonys, those shows aren't surviving anymore. And it's kind of like, what is surviving? And here's one of the main things is shows that are doing well are shows that have big stars in it, celebrities, like a name that is attached to the show. And the sad thing is big Broadway names aren't really doing that anymore. Like Kristen Chenoweth in Queen of Versailles, that didn't work. I'm talking about like household names they want, or like reality TV stars, or just famous people like A-list, B-list celebs. And because of that, what is happening is, so those are now like the leads in shows are there, the replacements for big roles on Broadway. Now people who are big leading ladies, leading men, whatever, they are trickling down and they're starring in regional theater across the country. So what used to be kind of your normal average theater person, theater professional getting consistent work in a regional theater around the country, now Broadway stars are leading those shows. If you go to like any regional theater's website and find out who's in the cast for certain summer shows, you're gonna see half the cast has Broadway credits. And it used to not always be like that. And then because of that, things are trickling down where like all the equity contracts are going towards those people, so then the non-equity contracts are going towards the ensemble and stuff like that. And that's where I'm like, crap, because I am mainly an ensemble girly. I am a dancer first, I sing and act, but unless it's a chorus line or something very specific, I am an ensemble girl. So my tracks are being filled by non-equity people most likely, or if it is an equity track, it is usually going to somebody who is a local to that theater, knows the creative team in some way, has some sort of connection. So last year I booked one show in the whole year out of like 52 auditions or something like that, and it happened because I was a local to that theater and they just so happened to have an equity contract left. And I have a good relationship with that casting director, so he probably was like, all right, let's give it to her. Like, I know she works hard, she's great, let's get her in. And for that to happen, so many things had to align. And for the chances for that to happen continuously is low. And then kind of with that, like, you know, you hear so much advice, do all these things, take all these classes, meet all these people, make all these connections, XYZ. And I have been doing that for years. It has worked out for me sometimes, or I'm like seeing like, okay, I'm like cultivating this connection, I think this could work out one day, or blah, 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 blah. But that takes so much time and effort, and when you have to pay your bills and do things, sometimes all of that is just not possible. And I'm kind of hitting a point in my life, I am 32 years old, where I want to have a quality of life, a day-to-day life that I am enjoying, especially because I'm single. I don't have somebody to come home to every day to at least have that as like a stable part of my life. Like, I don't really have anything that's stable. So I think I'm just craving that now as I'm getting a little bit older, and then I'm looking at the industry in a realistic way, and I'm like, wow, like I talk to all these friends, everyone is struggling to book work. Also, here's another thing that I'm noticing. People on Broadway, especially like ensemble folks, Broadway just loves to recycle people. So kind of once you get a Broadway show, it really helps, because then you're in the cool kids club and you'll get invited to those auditions and you're in the circuit. And if you look at casting announcements and everything like that, most of it is the same people being recycled. And it takes just like that one luck to get in there, but it's not happening for that many people. And then another issue I'm seeing is I go to these regional theater auditions and I'm seeing people currently in Broadway shows at the auditions with me. When they book it, a lot of times they'll take a leave of absence from their Broadway show to do this regional theater. And when that happens, a vacation swing goes in for them. So technically no new job was really created, because somebody on Broadway just went and did a regional gig. Somebody who's already employed in that Broadway show who's a vacation swing just covered for them for that month or two. They didn't get a replacement. Nobody like got to make their Broadway debut because Sally went to do a regional gig. So that's another thing. But these regional theaters, that looks great for them to be hiring people currently on Broadway. It's all like a money thing. So that's kind of like everything that's going on in my head with the industry. And the reason I'm still in it, however, is because I have put so much of my heart and soul and life into this, and I do love it so much. And I still believe in myself, and I still think it could happen one day, my Broadway debut. But equally, I'm finding other things that also bring me a lot of joy. So I'm trying to kind of dive into those as well, and seeing how I can create like a fulfilled life that feels stable. So that's all of that stuff. Speaking of like theater and auditions, I got a comment, let me find it. So at auditions, in my vlogs, a lot of times I'll tell you guys like, oh, I got cut, or oh, I got kept. And somebody asked, when cuts are announced, is there a protocol or standard best practice performers follow? Does everyone typically just stay silent? If kept, do you say anything to friends who get cut? Have you ever seen anyone start crying or yelling? So it's really like not as dramatic as you might think. So kind of what happens is, say we all danced. Usually they're like, okay, great, wait to the side, talk amongst yourselves. And then the casting director will come forward and name who was kept. Or sometimes they'll send us all to the holding room and they'll do that in the holding room. Either way, it ends up being the same vibe. So what they'll do is they'll be like, Sally, Julia, Mel, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the rest of you, thank you so much. Come next time. You all did great work. And then we're all like, okay, thanks. So then the people who were kept, if it's happening in the room you were auditioning in, you all just stay. And then whoever was cut just leaves. And it is just so normal to get cut. It's really not a big deal. Like whenever I'm cut, I'm like, okay, cool. I just like, we all pick up our water bottles and we just like chat on the way out. We're like, oh my God, have you heard of this coffee shop? I'm gonna go there to get this latte today. Blah, blah. Like it's so casual. In the holding room, sometimes they'll do that. And then they'll be like, sometimes it's like, well, these people stay and sing, and they name the names. So then that one is a little bit more awkward, because then the people who are cut, you have to like pack up your stuff and leave if you want. So then it's kind of just like, okay, I didn't get kept, and you like pack up your stuff. But like, again, everyone just has casual conversations with each other. I know a lot of the people I'm auditioning with, so either like whether I'm the one who was kept or the one who was cut, if I'm like, one of my friends is in the opposite position as me, we're just like, okay, cool. Oh, are you going to Frozen tomorrow? Oh yeah, okay, cool, I'll see you there. Or like, oh, we're, have fun this weekend, whatever. Like, it's just so normal. No one really reacts. I think we all kind of teach ourselves, like, if it was something that upset us, you just kind of keep it in, let it out when you're home. But I've never seen anyone like act crazy about it. I think once you get to this level of auditioning, everyone is a pro and like knows nothing is that deep, so you wouldn't like cause a scene. And we are all, especially the women, I don't know how the men are, but we're all just so nice to each other. We have like such a good vibe going. So it's really like, it's nice. Like sometimes I have had people, when I've been cut, I've had people like strangers come up to me and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you were cut. You were so good. Or like I've gone up to people where I've been like, I just hope you know that you looked beautiful dancing. And they're like, thank you. That happens sometimes too. So yeah, that's the tea on getting cut. I did want to slip in here, since I'm gossiping and telling secrets. I won't tell the details yet. I still need to figure out like how much trouble I could get in if I tell. But let's just say I made it to final round, like interviews, auditions, I don't know what to call it, for a very big reality TV show that everyone loves. I'm just gonna say, like, it's the most popular TV show, I think, reality show currently. And it's a really, really fun one. It's not one of those like trashy, like, ooh, this is not gonna be a good look. It's like a really fun. If you know what it is, don't comment below, because I don't want them to get mad. But I didn't get it. They had told me I would hear in April if I was selected, and I wasn't. But then they were like, make sure you try again next year. So I think that's why I want to keep it on the DL. But it was so crazy, because basically, like, if I got that, that would have changed everything for me. Everything. Like, that, it would just put my life on a whole different trajectory. And I think for me, like, in a good way. I think I'm just like such a personality, and that kind of an experience, I would live for it. And I feel like it just goes well with like my brand and my vlogging and everything. But who knows? I wanted to tell you guys that, because that was happening for like 2 months and I couldn't say anything. And yeah, I was freaking out. And I do have a lot of footage saved on my computer of all the details of it. So when I can finally tell you guys like everything, stay tuned. Okay, last thing to chat about is the plan with getting a master's. So a lot of you have asked like, oh, would you consider getting one in the US? Blah, 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 blah. Yes. So why I applied to the one in London in the first place was because they still have their applications open, but a lot of the ones in New York had their applications closed like early March, some of them January. So I missed it. So I was like, okay, but if I want to go in 2026, I gotta figure it out. So I applied to Westminster and I got in. Then we found out if I want to continue social media and my writing jobs, I can't go. Then I just checked some other programs to see if I could apply to any others, and Fordham still had their application open. I applied, I did get in. However, I'm not going to accept it because it is very expensive, and there is another school that I like a lot better. So here's kind of the current plan. I love the program at SUNY, and they are known to have this amazing journalism degree. Oh, also, some of you were like, why don't you get an online degree? Or like, you might not need a degree to do this. True, I don't need a degree to be a journalist. I'm already a journalist, but I'm really interested in hosting and news anchoring and like being on camera and all of that. And really the only way to get experience and to make reels to submit to those jobs is by getting a master's, because you will have classes where you're literally like learning how to do that. You're getting footage, you are doing like real actual news reporting on the scene, hands-on. That is why I want to go to one like in person. I don't really care about the piece of paper, I care about the experience it would give me. So anyway, back to SUNY. SUNY is like my dream program. They have an amazing journalism school. It is in a great location in New York, so it would be super easy to get to from my apartment. They have a part of the program is you have to do an internship, which I think is so wonderful, because then it immediately gets you connected to some sort of job after you graduate. And also another pro to doing a master's is a lot of jobs I've been looking at applying to are like internships. All of them are like, must be a recent journalism grad or must be completing a journalism degree, blah, blah, blah. A lot of those are for like ABC, NBC, Disney, you know, so that would be helpful too. So the plan is I have to wait until fall 2027 if I want to go to SUNY, and I'll be applying whenever that gets released. And then another pro is even without any scholarship or anything, it's very affordable. I want to say it's like $20K for the program, somewhere around there. But SUNY is aiming to be tuition free for the Masters in Journalism for 2027. They've been given a lot of grants and they're trying to encourage people to pursue journalism degrees, because right now there's a lot of like drama with journalists, politically, with AI, everything, and a lot of like media outlets and other big folks who have money want to save programs who are gonna train great journalists who can do this work with integrity and knowledge. So they are like putting money towards this, and they're aiming to have free tuition. But even if they don't, they're gonna have like huge scholarships at least. So that is gonna be the most financially possible for me. And then also it's the program I love the most. So I'm just gonna wait for that. And that is the plan. And then in the meantime, I'm currently trying to get a job just in a business, either a publication, a media outlet, anything, a talk show, just a job in the building, whether that be like an admin position, receptionist, whatever it may be, to get myself in the building and get to know people, network, all of that, and make a salary for a bit, because your girl needs a salary. I am just like, the whole just freelancing and trying to make it all happen is just becoming a bit stressful for me, and at least for the time being, I haven't booked anything theater wise. The summer and the fall are very chill, so I thought let's put a little focus on that part of my life and try to get a job. But also the job market's crazy, so who knows? But yeah, that is all the tea for now. And then I'm gonna post this Wednesday, I believe. I'm heading to Universal Studios for a press trip for Parade magazine, and I'm gonna be writing a bunch of stuff for them. So I'm gonna be in Universal Tuesday to Saturday morning. And it's a whole like VIP tour of everything. I'm staying at Universal. It's gonna be so fun. So look out for content for that, and I'll if I can edit it Saturday night, I will post that Sunday. All right, that is it, you guys. Mwah. Talk to you later. Bye.